Another year, another Call of Duty, and it's been like this since my childhood. Except this time, something is different. The online hate is near universal. The usually dependable Treyarch has not only dropped the ball, but seemingly knifed it and thrown it back to the kids with a side of dog shit. That's what the internet would have you believe. Me? I'm actually a little bit more positive, and I am talking purely about the single player campaign because I found a way to actually enjoy it. Watch on and I'll tell you all about it. Okay, so the story mode this year is a pile of wank. I will give the internet that. The story is poor. It pisses away its main plot device very early on, and having it play out as a multiplayer game is a poor choice, but the story itself is the biggest offender. It carries on from Black Ops 2, with some familiar faces making a comeback, like the fan favourite Michael Rooker and David Mason, only this time around he's being played by that fella from Heroes who also played Rocky's disappointment of a son. I can't take the guy seriously either. His overly breathy delivery, his cheesy one-liners, he sounds like a parody of a Hollywood hardman. The story is a disjointed series of random levels with cutscenes bookending the action, and that's how it's always been, really. But here, it feels cheap, like the story was an afterthought. The Black Ops campaigns are known for their out there stories, and while it started quite tame with Black Ops 1, rooted in Cold War conspiracy, CIA mind control projects, the ghosts of World War II, grounded, gritty, and just about believable enough to not be totally ridiculous. Now, we're in the age of AI, mind implant chips, evil corporations that run unchecked. God, it actually sounds quite believable actually. And it absolutely could be in the game, if only the writing didn't feel like tween fanfiction. So yeah, the story is poor, but maybe the gameplay could be its saving grace. I went into the story mode ready to hate, and to be fair, I did hate it. My first match in the co-op campaign, I didn't realise that I'd left the squad fill option on, so during the opening cutscene, I had some bellend chatting through his mic, and I had no way of muting the pillock until we were in the game, and then the real problems began. Lag in a single player campaign. I dipped and gave zombies a go, got lagged hard there, and dipped again and didn't touch the game for a few days. So I'm putting that down as opening day nerves. Once I came back a few days later, I tried the campaign again, only this time with squad fill turned off, and I have to say it was a seamless experience. Okay, the lobby menu is off-putting, but whatever, a menu is a menu. Playing solo is how I've gotten through the campaign, and again, as I said, my first impressions were pretty much I hate it, but then I made the switch to third person mode, a first for a Call of Duty campaign, and this changed everything. The story mode itself is nothing more than a training ground for the multiplayer modes. Levels are basically stitched together from various multiplayer maps, all take place in the big open world Warzone map. The game basically feels like a series of Warzone PvE missions, which isn't totally bad. They can be decent enough and offer some good gameplay moments, and the campaign does still try and throw in some linear sequences, though the spectacle has been dialed back. And as you will have noticed in this video, I did it all in third person, and that is truly the way to play this year's Call of Duty campaign. Because the trick is to forget that it's a Call of Duty campaign. Switch that bitch to third person and treat it like a generic sci-fi action shooter. Put it on the same pedestal as, say, Mind's Eye, and then you've suddenly got something halfway decent. It's kind of what I've always wanted from a Call of Duty campaign, honestly. I've always wondered if it would play well as a third-person shooter, and now I know it totally does. Like Socom, or my favourite PS Vita shooter, Unit 13. It forces a slower pace, and changes the gameplay from pull L2 to auto-lock on, press R2 to shoot, repeat as fast as possible. Now the gunplay feels more active, like I can't rely on the game to guide my reticule. I made the switch to third person very early on, and it's the change of perspective the game needs. If they're going to fundamentally change what a Call of Duty campaign is, then I suppose I should say thanks for giving me the chance to change how I play it. Now this is a purely objective thing. There will be some who would never entertain the thought of playing your twitchy first-person shooter in third person. You do lose a yard of pace, so to say, but the trade-off, for me at least, is saves the story mode. It doesn't feel like a disappointing Call of Duty campaign, it feels like a middle-of-the-road, third-person sci-fi adventure. and I think that's about the kindest thing I can say about it. So there's balance, good and bad, but it's out of balance, with the bad outweighing the good. But the good is there, and despite it being obvious that they're trying to force the single player folks into the same pool as the multiplayer sweats, there are some aspects that totally work, and others that need work to work, but could work. The biggest being the cross progression across modes. No matter what you play, whether it's single player or co-op campaign, multiplayer proper or zombies, you can level up your weapons, earn rewards and so on. It's brilliant. But of course it is just to get you into that ecosystem where you may potentially get hooked on the multiplayer and throw some money at it. It's the gateway drug, but I'm a junkie, so open the fucking gate and give me my fix. Others, like the loot boxes, could be better integrated into the single player mode, because here they just feel weirdly out of place. But at the same time, it's very cool having multiplayer kill streaks being integrated into the campaign, giving everyone the chance to experience the coolest stuff, not just the multiplayer swag bags. But the forced multiplayer integration, which thankfully this time can be turned to single player, comes at the cost of the campaign characters. Without human players taking their places, your squad mates, who are constantly chatting over the radio, are nowhere to be seen if you're playing solo. It means it's you against the hordes of enemies, and you lose something by not having their presence. Of course, the easy argument is play with others. But I don't want to. I never had to before, and forcing me down that path just so the campaign doesn't feel super lonely and unfair is a problem. I get it though. The need to save money, time and resources, and the need to innovate and introduce change means we are not getting 3 individually baked pies anymore. We used to get a specially baked campaign, a living multiplayer suite, and a crafted zombies experience, all made from different ingredients, catering to different players, different tastes. But now we're getting 3 slices of the same pie, a universal flavour, because there's just not enough to go around otherwise. And the package as a whole, if you're the kind of player who plays everything, it's not absolutely terrible. The zombies mode alone, once a few more maps have been released, could well be its own standalone game by this point. Multiplayer is already free to play if Battle Royale Warzone is okay with you, so something has to give, and that big budget Hollywood campaign is the one losing the icing to share the sugar elsewhere. And I don't know why I've gone down the road of baked goods metaphors, but you get the sausage roll I'm making. I'm in a weird spot with this one because, as I said, the online hate for Black Ops 7's campaign is near universal, but I wonder if time will be kinder. Not to the weird boss fights, but to the fact that they tried boss fights in a Call of Duty campaign. The fact that they broke so far away from the Call of Duty formula that for some, like me, we had to break the rules too, pull the camera back and see the bigger picture, literally. I can't deny that the story is poor, and I am bitterly disappointed in the writing, the promise of a thriller, only to be delivered a dud. But the gameplay is decent, and if taken in a different way, third person, it's a whole new thing. Of course, it is a big ask to say, throw away everything you know and expect from a Call of Duty campaign to enjoy this Call of Duty campaign, but I'm being as fair and as honest as I can be, and skirting slowly around getting to saying the embarrassing line of, I actually kinda liked it. It's not so bad that it's good, it's just kind of alright as a third-person shooter. It lets me take things a little bit slower, to scope out the situation, and go at my own speed. And as I mentioned earlier, the gunplay feels a lot more involved, rather than the twitchy, auto-aim shooting. I'm getting old, my reflexes are slowing down. It'll happen to you one day, if you're lucky. So yeah, it's alright. It's different. It's far from great. But it's not unplayable, and it has its moments, and I can't help but wonder if it was given more time, would it have turned out better? Or will the next one continue the downward trend? I can say for sure though, I would be disappointed if I'd paid full price for it, but it's on Game Pass, so I can't moan too much. You get what you pay for, I suppose. And that is the end of this review, and look, more stuff to watch. And of course, I'll be back soon with a video on the zombie side of the game. If you enjoyed this video and want more, do me a solid and hit the like and subscribe buttons below, and the hype button too. And give the bell a ding so you're notified whenever there's something new to watch. I've been Chris, you've been gorgeous, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, cheers my dears.